Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Homeschooling with the P's, the P family. I'm not entirely too sure what I'm going to say here, but yes. As you guys can tell, this is going to be a curriculum for kindergarten for my upcoming kindergartner for 2025 and 2026 school year. As you guys can tell, it is the 180 days. The reason why I like these is that it does by units, and it also helps keep track of the days so we don't get lost, because with myself and my kiddos, we will be doing all year round. I did that in second grade with my oldest. My oldest is in regular school because he wanted to give it a shot. Doesn't like it, so we're gonna be homeschooling him again too, going into fourth grade, and I will be putting those videos out. Of course, it's going to be the same 180 days curriculum, so if you look forward to that. And I don't necessarily choose one curriculum over the other, but I prefer the 180 days, and it sounds like I am choosing one, but I also do supplemental work. I go on Teachers Pay Teachers. I print off those whenever I buy them, whenever I need something. And another thing that I also supplement with, it's always been language arts and math that I supplement. It's always been Spectrum, because with 180 days, no matter what grade level it is, it always just seems like it's less. And I understand that you get Unit 1, Day 1, which is great, which is perfect, but we also do need to supplement with the language arts and also with the math. And I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm talking about. So with the language arts, you get 4 questions. So basically, normally what I do, I will teach it. So let's say, well, here's a good example. So this right here has just 4 questions, and basically I would read the questions. I'm going to ask her, is it the capital or is it going to be lowercase? I'm going to teach her the lowercase capitals. I'm going to teach her the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and stuff like that. This doesn't have that type of stuff in here. So just be forewarned, that's... Alright, so as I was saying, it just basically doesn't give what I think a kindergartner needs. So what I'm going to supplement this one with is Spectrum, because Spectrum is wonderful in that aspect. They do the nouns, the verbs. They started off very early, so the kids will know what that is, and so on and so forth. This just basically does capitalization, punctuation, parts of speech, and spelling, and I think all of that is great, but I think kids also need to know parts of more parts of speech, I guess is what I'm trying to say, with like the nouns and stuff like that. But it's like that throughout the entire book. Like, oh, what's going to be capital? How are you going to, is it a question? Is it an exclamation point? Is it a statement that you're making? Stuff like that. And I do like this, but in the back of the book, it says that these skills are targeted in series, including punctuation, parts of speech, spelling patterns, past, present, and future tenses, verb tenses, capitalization, sentence structure, and so on and so forth. The thing is when you go through this book, which there will be an in-depth version so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about, it just needs to be supplemented. Same thing with the math. Math is always so weird. I actually... when I was going to homeschool my older child, who is in 3rd grade right now, I actually had to supplement the 180 days with 2 different Spectrum books, just to make sure we were actually getting everything. And of course, like I said, Teacher Pay Teacher, I would get a unit ready, and then I would find the said unit in all 3 of these books, because word problems are a really big thing. I don't remember word problems ever being a big thing, but I haven't been in school in like 15 years. So yes, same thing with math. This one does number senses, addition and subtraction, algebraic thinking and patterns, measurements, geometry, story problems, and mathematic reasonings. I like this, but the same thing with this. And how I'm going to teach it is how I taught it last year when he was in kindergarten as well. So I'm going to take, like, let's say this, and then I'm going to sit down with her and I'm going to explain to her, hey, which one has more fish? What is more? What is less? How are we gonna measure a stick? I'm gonna get a measure, a ruler, and we're gonna go outside and measure a stick and stuff like that. I just want them to be engaged, and then of course come back and teach the rest of it, and then we're gonna go over everything, and then once there's time, because I think learning time and money and the value of money and stuff like that, we have to teach that type of stuff because it's not necessarily taught anymore in schools from my understanding. Like I said, I taught my son kindergarten through second and so on and so forth. But this is what the pages look like. They all look the same, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that it has the unit and then the days that we need to be on. And I don't know if I said earlier, we are basically doing all year round, just to make sure, like they're gonna have 6 weeks off, and then 6 weeks on. And it'll be different for everybody because the state that I'm in, they're very lenient. They don't make you do testing, but they do want the kids to be taught and have your own curriculum and stuff like that. I'm actually in a very lax, cool state to actually homeschool. If I was in my hometown in a different state, that'd be a different story because they don't think it's right. But anywho, next couple of things, these are going to be considered unit studies. And the reason why I say unit studies is because I bought the same thing for my other boy, but they are in his grade level and above because he's like past where he needs to be anyway. But unit studies, of course, the high frequency words, I think this is important for all kids that need to know before, hey, you start reading, there's going to be patterns when you're reading, like the word I, and the of, use, not, what, stuff like that. I've always liked these. These are definitely one of my favorites. The third grade is probably one of my favorite, actually, because the way that it is set up. Again, it is let's say we're on week 16 of school and we're on day 2. All she has to do is find the words, say them out loud, know how to spell them, and then I'm just going to have her the last day, let's say day 5, and she just tells me what it is and how to spell them, and I'm not going to do this until at least like week 10. So she gets the idea, but this will be in our unit study. So basically what I'm going to do, it's going to be an hour. So let's say morning work, because I already have it all set up, because this is what I used to do with my oldest. You're going to have morning work. If it's something that you didn't finish the day before, go ahead and go finish that. And then morning work, you either read or you work on your spelling words, which he will be doing that. His will look a little bit different than hers. But when we do our unit studies, we will be doing the high frequency. Okay, so as I was talking about unit studies, the high frequency words, the reading, and also the writing will be in the unit studies. Like I said in the beginning, when I first started talking about the unit studies, they will have about 30 minutes to do it, and then we'll work on our other part of the unit studies for the other 30 minutes and then be done, and then move on to our main 2 courses, which of course is math and language arts. I probably should have said that when I was talking about language arts and math, but yes. So the thing with this, I actually really like this. I like how it's set up, especially for a kindergartner. I like that this is for week 2, unit 6, week 2, day 4 and 5. So let's say there's 4. I'm going to do the first 2 with her, and then she's going to answer the first 2. But if it's not there, we'll just do all of them together. And I think the reason why I like doing stuff like that is because it's easier to remember. Um, because like I said, I've been doing pre-K with her, and she's getting there where she needs to be. I like that a lot of them are not super long, because with the spectrum reading, they're like 3 pages, and I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. It felt like that. Um, it's just a big paragraph, and I don't normally expect a kindergartner to actually know that. And then the last thing for our unit studies, which I will go in more in depth once we do the unit studies to show you guys how I and my kiddos do it, to make sense. Writing is the last thing for our unit study here. So I like the writing. The writing is always neat, and it will definitely help because my son hates writing. So here's week 1, day 1 and 2. So basically it's the who, where, when, event, stuff like that, and then we'll have a little passage to read, and just write the P. And then with my son, I know with this one, because I don't think I was going to supplement with the spectrum, because spectrum last year or the year before was actually a little weird for the both of us. I don't know, 2nd grade. That it just wasn't, the way I learned how to write was very different from books, and I understand everything is different now. But yes, this one will teach opinion practice, information, and I can never say that word right, but I know what it is. Explanatory practice, narrative practice, pre-writing activities, drafting, revising, editing, publishing, and writing rubric posters and tips. I really like this. I'm actually really stoked because writing right now, I know she's gonna get there, but it's hard. And then the last thing is going to be the 180 days of problem solving. This will also be done during morning work. Okay, so let's say, so morning work will only be like 30 minutes to an hour. I think I'm only going to do it for 30 minutes with her, and then jump right into unit studies when my son is done. So that will give her a break, because she's not going to sit very long, and I know she's not going to sit very long. But the reason why I like this one is because a lot of times you just have the word problems, and I do think it's important for kids to know word problems. Like Jimmy has 15 apples, and you need to find the sum of whatever, and well, how do you get the sum of it? So let's say Jimmy has 15 apples and Marcia takes 5. How many do you have left? Find the sum of that. But yes, this is how it is. I really like this. So this will be done in morning work. And then back to the unit studies. I don't know why I keep going back and forth, but the thing with unit studies, like I said, 1 month it will be science, and then the next it will be the social studies, and whether it's geography or something like that. But 1 month will be one thing, the next will be another. So let's say I decide to do science, and for that whole month on, let's say, said Fridays, we only do it on Fridays. Okay, because I did that a couple of years ago too, where we would just do our unit studies, the reading, the writing, the spelling words and stuff like that, and then on the Friday, we just did science, and then the next Friday we did science, the next Friday we did science, the next Friday we did science. That's how I liked to do it, because I don't want a bunch of stuff shoved down their throats. Because in all honesty, they probably only do school maybe 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. It just depends. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the 180 days curriculum. I'm going to do a more in-depth version of each one. And I think I'm going to go more in depth and explain to you why I have them in a certain area with unit studies or morning work and stuff like that. But anywho, I hope this helped you guys out. But yes, I'm just going to say this now. I normally don't like to do videos. I just thought I would go ahead and jump on here because I have seen some videos where they're not as in-depth. I just wanted to give a quick look through and explain what I was going to do with them. So, yeah. But if you guys can't be nice, I guess, in the comments, I will turn them off because I have seen a lot of people talk crap about homeschoolers. So, yeah. Anywho, stay tuned for my 4th graders. Stay tuned for the unit studies because I have them all, even though we won't be doing school until August of 26. But just stay tuned for all that. I have some really cool stuff coming up this upcoming school year for them. And then towards the beginning of school, I will actually be doing extra stuff that I have bought, like whiteboards, really fun, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like blocks where you can do your spelling words and stuff. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and Homeschooling with the P family will be back.